Okay, so hello guys. So in our series of web cache poisoning lab, we have yet another lab, web cache poisoning with multiple headers. So this is a lab which I also haven't done myself, and so I'll be stuck in middle. And please don't judge. And also I'll keep it as raw as possible because I don't want to. Uh, my motive of these videos are that like these labs might be practitioner or beginner or any, but first time anyone doing these can be confusing, and I too be even if I know what web cache poisoning is, I might also get stuck because these are like these are just brainstorming things, and I want to keep it as plain and simple as possible. And also, I would like to explain things, how things are working at the back end, so that we can use that knowledge for the further labs and implement those in our real life contests. Okay. So here the lab says this lab contains a web cache versioning vulnerability that is only exploitable when you use multiple headers to craft a malicious request. A user which visits the home page roughly once a minute to solve this lab poison the cache with the response that executes alert document.cookie in the visitor's browser. Okay, we have accessed our lab. Let's go. We know there are malicious headers, and as I am using community version, I don't know whether or not whether I'll be able to my paraminer will be able to identify all the headers. So if not, there are two headers which paraminer should identify. If it won't, I will use the hint. So I think that works. It is using the cache. We can see here. These are cache oracles. We have discussed already about these. Let's quickly start our paraminer. Okay, we'll use default settings. And for the community version, you could go here, load paraminer here, and it will be running like this and like this. It has initiated the root cause of the header. Till then, let's add a cache buster. Buster 1, 2, 3, 4. Basically, we are using cache buster so that we don't hamper the activities of the normal user. In this case, this is a lab. This might be unique to me or only to me, but still, we want to use cache buster to make our uh, to make it a habit. So we can see this is the content length and it misses. Okay, hit. Now let's see. Did we get anything? Okay, we got a header X forward scheme. Let's go to repeater and X forward scheme HTTPS. Then it hits HTTP. So basically, this is a unkeyed header, and what does this header does? We can see this X forwarded scheme HTTP header specifies the scheme the client uses to make a request, such as HTTP or HTTPS, allowing servers to detect the original protocol even when requests pass through the proxies or load balance. So basically, this is used to define what scheme the client will use to make the request. So if, like, let's see, if we use a HTTP scheme, it the server gives us 302 found and redirects us to something to the HTTPS or secure version of this site. What if we use something else like test header, test scheme, change the buster, and we can see that whatever well it does not it only needs HTTPS or any other value goes for redirect to HTTPS. Okay, I don't think our paraminer is working too well, so I'll use hint. Okay, so the next header is X forwarded host. Let's use that too. X forwarded host. So initially I would go for this and HTTPS, and let's go for test.com. So it misses, but I don't think there's any change in the content length. So this header is not directly impacting our response. So let's see, it hits. Let's remove. Okay, now we have found something. When we use exported host header and the scheme header, whenever the scheme is HTTP, it will redirect us to a HTTPS version of it, of the site. And when we are using exported host to test.com, it overrides the value of host or the in the location. So now, how does this work? Let me explain that to you. So basically, when we use host like when we use host uh, to the value of a and exported host to b, so basically host is you the value of host is used to make the connection or for the decision by the server that which application, in the case of virtual hosting, means a same server is hosting many different applications. So in that scenario, the server decides by the host header which application of which should I serve to the user. Now, what happens in when we use override headers such as X forwarded host? So first, the connection is made to the host A, then wherever, like for some absolute links or relative links or some data, if there is a use of some values, like for example, there is some use that host sending some reset links, etc., where the server needs to append the value of host and it does not restrict the X forwarded host header. So what happens is the value A is which should be the value which the user must get in the reset password link or something. It's overridden by the value B. So that's what's happening over there. Like our host, the connection is made to this, but the exported host overrides the value in location. Okay, so we understood this. Now, the second part which we need to understand is that these headers are unkeyed. So we like these don't have any impact or whatsoever on our application. So what we can do is we can go back to this and we can start looking for something to cache or some response to poison which can help us execute the XSS payload which they have given, which they have mentioned. We have to execute this. So for that, what we can do is let's uh, let's see these requests. Okay, so there's this JavaScript request. Let's send it to the repeater and see. So it is also you. It is also being can it also can be cached. So let's try. Uh, can we? Okay. So yeah, we are able to this is also being served from cache, and if we use these headers over here, can we? So we are just testing. Are we able to poison the response of this tracking.js or not? So when we did, okay, this this is see. This is why identification or these cache oracles are very important to note because it says hit. That means the response has been served from the cache server. Again, we send it misses and we can see that it overrides. Okay, so now if any user, like for example, if any user requests the tracking.js or if any, like for example, tracking.js is being loaded by the application itself. So if any user, like let's understand this from the diagram, if any normal user tries to reload the site or request the site, and instead of legit tracking.js, which the site must load, the site only requests the site has to request for tracking.js to the given source. What happens is when we poisoned or when we stored a poison response, in the cache server. What happens is user requests the malicious tracking.js, but because cache server sees that I already have a response for tracking.js, it serves that response, and without knowing or without validating to the server that whether the response is correct or not, and that response is will be our poison response or malicious response, we can say. So how are we going to how are we going to craft that malicious response or malicious tracking.js is what we are going to see now. So this is a malicious tracking.js. Let's uh, go over here, copy this path and name this. Now we have to document. Sorry for my typing. Okay. Now we have uh, created a malicious tracking.js. We'll use this in the exported host header. Control C. We'll use this. Okay. And now HTTP and see it misses. Now any user trying to call for tracking.js will be served this response 302 found and will be redirected to this. Let's test whether our exploit is working or not. We'll remove the buster so that we can affect the main application. Send it and it okay. We might have reloaded it, so it's age 9. Let's wait for some time. Let's wait 28, 29, 30, and it misses. Let's come to our lab, and for this lab, let's reload the lab, and it gives a, and it loads the malicious JS file. And as soon as we reload again, okay, I think there's some issue with the lab. Let's just take this, Control C over here. Okay, snap. R, why didn't it solve? Like I don't know. This this is the I think this is the only solution which I can think of. But after solving this, we'll also review the solution which is given. Okay, we did it. Went here. Access has got triggered, but lab is not being solved. Why? Can anyone explain this to me in the comment section? I would really love to hear your thoughts. Why I am not able to, why this lab is saying that it's not solved. I think I fulfilled the necessary condition which was required. Uh, God knows. I am getting a pop-up, but the lab is not being solved. What should I do? So I don't know why and what more is there for this lab. But I think let's review the solution give community solution. So okay. It says with perp running, load the website's homepage. Okay. Go to proxy and study the requests and responses that you generated. Find the get request for the JavaScript file. Oh, we were on the right track. Add a cache buster query parameter and the exported host header with an arbitrary host name such as example.com. Notice that this does does not seem to have any effect on response, right? We have done that. Response remove the exported host header and exported scheme and add the exported scheme header. Instead, notice that if you include any value other than HTTPS, yeah, we have already known that we will receive a 302 response, and the location header shows you where you have been redirected to HTTPS version of that thing. We added host and then the location header. Yeah, forwarded scheme, no HTTPS as well. Send this request and notice the location will be 302 to the HTTPS version of the example.com, which we served in export hook, right? Go to exploit server, change the file name to be used by the vulnerable resources.js, resources slash js slash tracking.js. In the body, enter this. Yes, we did it. Go back to here, and we have to put the exploit server URL to our exported host. We did it. Make sure the exported scheme is set to anything other than HTTPS, right? Send the request until you see the XO cache hit in the headers. To check that the response was cached correctly, right click on the repeater verb, select copy URL and load this poison. Okay, note that the alert will won't actually execute here. Go back to verb repeater, remove cache bus and descend until the poison to simulate the victim. Reload the keep replaying the request, cache poison. Okay, so we did what it's saying. I think we did the same thing. I don't know. Like someone, please tell me where I was wrong. We did the same thing. I'm trying again. Okay. It, let's take this. Why are we not? Is it something wrong with our payload? Okay, it's solved. It's solved. Okay. Uh, okay, guys. Thank you for watching it, and do let me know if there are some requirements or some improvements in my videos, and I would love to improve. So yes, thank you.